So you don't have to. So you don't have to. So you don't have to.
Did it so you don't have to. Did it all so that you never have to.
Oh no no no.
Did it so you don't have to.
Don't do it.
Did it all so that you never have to.
Oh no no no.
Did it so you don't have to.
I did it.
Did it all so that you never have to.
Oh no no no.
Did it so you don't have to.
Don't do it.
Did it all so that you never have to.
I steal for you. I deal for you. That's what I did for you. To get a meal for you. Nearly died for you.
South Africa is full of dynamic new era farmers who have overcome great challenges to make their mark.
Ek het baie lank gedink aan die boerdery vir myself.
Food for Mzansi teams up with the VKB group and farmer mentor Piet Potgieter to share their remarkable stories.
Môre dat jy nog goed doen.
Nee, goed, dankie.
Dis regtig my droom om te vergroot en te verbeter.
Find out what these farmers had to struggle
Die
with,
pad is hard om te stap as boervrou in Suid-Afrika.
who supported them,
As ek sukkel hier by die plaas, ek bel hom.
and what they dream of.
I became even more passionate about farming.
Wat ons elke dag trots maak is om te sien van waar ons gekom het en waar ons nou is.
Get to know the people behind agriculture. Vir die liefde van die land starts 8 October at
How's it, Mzansi? My name is Duncan Masiwa, a journalist at Food from Mzansi, and welcome to the first virtual Agri-Career Fair hosted this year. But I'm not flying solo today. I am joined by the beautiful Ms. Dawn Nomdu.
Hi Duncan, thanks so much for that beautiful introduction. It's great to be here and welcome again from my side as well to the Food for Mzansi Virtual Career Fair. Before we get started, we're about to go live, but we want to just chat to some of our learners that's attending here today, and it's so exciting to have them with us. I'm going to ask them a few questions, and feel free to engage the audience here as well. If you want to ask them, pop them a question as well. But we're going to ask them quick questions. Basically, tell us who you are and where you're from.
Hello, my name is Alistair Matthijs. I'm a newborn. I live in Wellington and I am from Carterville, known as Igoli also. I'm here today with my group. Believe we can do with mentorship program.
Wellington!
Welcome him.
Hi everybody, my name is Rochelle. I'm at Charleston High School. I'm from Paarl and I'm with my team.
Justin Hill, hi!
I'm Alshinri Lau and I come from Paarl and I attend La Rochelle High School.
Go La Rochelle. So we have a dynamic group here. Thank you to the crowd. Cheer for them. So give nice excitement. We want the excitement. Yes. Okay. So let's start with the first question. What did you have for breakfast?
I had some millimil pap and a cup of coffee.
Millennial pup. That's the way to start the day. And where do you think that came from?
I think it came from a farm somewhere in Wellington. Don't know how, but from a farm.
He doesn't
Somewhere
know
in
how,
Wellington.
but he knows that it comes from a farm somewhere in Wellington. And if you had to describe that farmer that gave you that milli-meal pup, what would you describe that farmer as being?
I would describe it as a big boer with some swords, huge legs, a lot of hair on him and a big head.
Do you guys agree? Yes, no?
Why a
Do you
big
guys
head,
agree?
though? I'm interested to know why a big head.
A big head. Maybe he meant to say a big hat.
Yeah, a big head.
A big hat. Okay, a big hat. And are you excited about today?
Excited with today.
We're really happy to have you with us. And then Duncan, a special? A special?
Can you dance for us?
He needs to do a little jive. A special?
I say give it up, give it up, give it up. Hey, 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 hey,
Hey, hey.
come on. Hype him up, hype him up, hype him up.
Awesome! How was that? Yay! Woo!
I think he was struggling because he said he wanted to jig.
He wanted to jig.
He wanted to jig.
He wanted to jig. Okay. Next.
Right. And you, darling? So what did you have for breakfast this morning?
A cup of coffee and only a cup of coffee.
No food.
No.
She's a bit shy. She had a cup of coffee. Where do you think that coffee came from?
Hopefully from a farm.
A farm. Okay, she says a farm. And what do you think that farmer looks like? Do you think that she can look like me?
No.
No, she says no. A farmer can't possibly look like me.
Why
Can it?
not?
Because he's a person.
Okay, and are you excited about today?
Yes.
Very excited. Okay, awesome. Can you do a little Mzansi jive for us?
Come
no
on,
Mzansi
high five.
jive. No
Come on.
Mzansi jive. Okay,
I'll
okay,
join
okay.
you.
Well,
She's coming, she's coming.
Hey!
Here we go. Okay, I'll be with you. Of tijd zei ook. Okay, it's fine.
She's a bit shy. We
She's a bit
forgive her. We
shy.
forgive her.
So, and you, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Also a cup of coffee and a homemade caramel biscuitjie.
Lekker.
Sounds delicious.
And where did you think that came from?
Well, I made it myself, but I assume the flour came from a boer somewhere.
And if you had to describe that farmer, how do you think that farmer looks?
Someone with boots and a hat and a like a boerentan.
Lekker man.
And can that farmer look like Duncan? Possibly. Okay. Can that farmer be you? Yes, definitely. Okay, awesome.
Join us on the dance floor.
Okay, let's all three participants just do a last round of dance. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! Yes. Come on, come on, come on. Crowd, give them some energy. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right. And we are super excited for what's happening today on today's program. But let's quickly look at what's on store for us on the board.
And remember, this is the first agricultural career fair happening virtually.
They say that agriculture is a labor of love. They say that agriculture is a labor of love. Love for what? To be there when the green breaks the ground? Or to see how the smallest beginning grows to new heights? Maybe it's the way in which we bring people together. Or just knowing we're making a difference. From tractor to table, we are there. And we don't do it for one of these reasons, but all of them. We do it for the love of the land.
It's true. The thing about creativity is that sometimes like you're too direct with it. You almost kind of clamp up. And that kind of when you step away and you give yourself some perspective, you're definitely able to give yourself more room to kind of let it flow. Having a career in filmmaking is very difficult for any person. It's particularly difficult for women and particularly difficult for women of color. My message would be for people to know that you don't have to get it all right now. It's okay if your life isn't perfect right now and you're struggling now and you're having to take other jobs to make it work. We're playing a very long game, and a healthy career takes time to build. You don't have to peak in your 20s, and if you only make your best work in your 40s and 50s, you still will have made your best work. Things that seemed like they were mistakes at the time or detours at the time really were just part of the journey and helped me better understand what I do now.
Mzansi Agri Career Fair. We are joined by a group of people, young, old. Some of them are still on school, some of them have finished school, and they're quite excited to join us here today to find more about all the career possibilities in agriculture. When we think about agriculture, we normally think about just farmers and people working the soil, but there's a lot of more opportunities in there, and that is what we are here to find out today.
So a warm welcome to all the learners in all the 9 provinces also watching us. We are currently streaming this live on Food for Mzansi's Facebook page, and you can also go to agricareers.co.za to watch it right now. So we have a group of learners here, but we also have thousands of learners streaming in from all over the country. Can I get a warm welcome for everyone? Clap hands. So this project is presented in partnership with a number of Department of Education, and we are basically couldn't have done it without them. And we thank them, and we thank all of our partners that are here today. And we're looking forward to a really, really exciting day. Can I get a whoop whoop? Yes!
But also, don't we have a fun program ahead? There's some quizzes coming along in which you can win prizes. 250 Rand cash. Who needs money?
Yes.
Yes. So there's nice quizzes coming along. And then we're also speaking to some experts in the agricultural field. Dawn, we're speaking to representatives from Stellenbosch University. We've got Agri Colleges International here. And we've also got Agri Western Cape and then, of course, Agri Expo. So I'm looking quite forward to that.
And so remember, the platform that we're launching today will be available for 12 months. So you will have access to all of this information and resources for a year. So this is really exciting stuff, and we're so happy to have you with us. But we're going to get started. When you came in, you received a little booklet. For those that don't have, please share. For the viewers also watching, the questions will be up on your screen at the moment. This is our first activity. It's a quiz. I know you guys are on holiday. But hopefully you've woken up with the fresh coffee that you had this morning. So you'll have a quiz 1. Can everyone find it? Have you located it? If you don't have, please share with your neighbor.
Don't you have one? Okay.
Perfect. Everyone settling in. You also received a pen when you came in. So remember, this is for a cash prize of 250 Rand. And we'll announce the winner after the event. So you can ask a friend. Okay, so question number 1. Are you guys ready?
Everyone has their pens.
And then when you're done, we will have people collecting it. And please write your name and the name of your school or the organization that you're part of at the back, okay? So question number 1, Duncan.
So question number 1 is, I bet you can't guess how cashew nuts grow. Does anyone know how cashew nuts grow? Dawn, do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing on a tree.
You think so?
I can't be sure.
Tell us. Write your answers down.
Question number 2. Who likes pineapple? Okay, lots of people like pineapple. Pineapple on pizza?
No. No. I don't know about you guys, but warm pineapple just doesn't make sense.
So the second question is, how long does it take for a single pineapple to grow?
Quickly.
So write your answers down, whatever you think.
Third question is, which is the odd one out?
So you can do better.
Banana, watermelon, strawberry, or cucumber? Which is the odd one out?
To understand or even know better. It's time that I tell you who I am so I can protect you. Cause a bad role model, some I can't afford
250 up for grabs.
Cause only me and God knows what I did just to eat. I steal for you, I deal for you. That's what I did.
Guys,
for
ready
you.
for the next question?
To get a meal for you.
Next question is, am I at the right question? Which of these can't be included in the bag of mixed nuts? Walnuts, almonds, cashews, or peanuts? I heard an answer there coming through. Remember, it's secret. You have to write it down. Everyone's hard at work here. Duncan, do you know?
I don't know. I'm looking at the question. I'm wondering.
Are you a nut guy? Do you like nuts?
I love nuts. I think maybe I shouldn't say the answer.
No answers.
So next question is, when did humans start farming? When did humans start farming?
You can also call a farmer there at the back.
We've
We
got
have
a couple
farmers in
of
the
them,
house.
yeah. It's definitely not 2020, my friend. Maybe tell us what century.
What century? Yeah. Yes. Okay, the next question is question 6. What is the oldest method of preserving foods? Smoking, drying, pickling, or freezing? Did you guys listen when your grandmothers and grandfathers told you stories? Do you remember anything from when how they used to preserve food?
I think these two over here might stand a chance to win. They're quite focused.
We'll see, Duncan, we'll see. Remember, we're also streaming this live on Facebook, so if you're watching on Facebook or on agricareers.co.za, you can also play along with the quiz. This is our first quiz as part of our activities for today's session, and we're really looking forward to the engagements further, Duncan.
And if you haven't liked the Food for Mzansi pages, make sure that you like it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Next question. Okay, so for this one, I hope I get the name right. From what plant did Andreas Sigismund Margraaf extract sugar in 1746, leading to the development of an industry, sugarcane, sugar beet, apples, or oranges? Let's go through that again. From what plant did Andreas Sigismund Margraaf extract sugar in 1747, leading to the development of an industry? So your options are sugarcane, sugar beet, apples, or oranges. 250 rand cash, remember.
Do you know the answer, Duncan?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's go to the next question. The next question is, which of these are sold to farmers to help control insect pests? Option 1, locusts. Option 2, butterflies. Option 3, chameleons. Or ladybugs. Duncan?
I think it could be ladybugs.
Okay.
I think so. Right, question 9. Which of the following isn't an agricultural product? Which of the following is not an agricultural product? Your options are beer, tomatoes, wheat, or footwear. Which one of the following is not an agricultural product? Beer, tomatoes, wheat, or footwear? Write it down, write it down.
And then the last and final question for quiz 1 is South Africa as market-oriented agricultural economy that is highly diversified and includes the production of all the major grains except one. What massive staple grain does South Africa have to import in large quantities? So South Africa has a market-oriented agricultural economy that is highly diversified and includes the production of all major grains, except one. What massive staple grain does South Africa have to import in large quantities? No Google, guys, no? Okay, so if you're done, we're going to collect them. Please remember to write your name and the name of your school at the back, and we'll announce the winner at the end. Anna, julle lief goedjies. Okay, so next up, as they're collecting, we're going to meet our farmer. And I must say, I'm really impressed by this guy. He's so, I met him about a year ago, just over a year ago, and he is just making waves in this industry, Duncan.
I absolutely love this guy. His journey into the agricultural sector has been amazing. And despite challenges, he's still pushing forward and he still keep going. And I absolutely love this guy. Let's quickly introduce you to our guest for today, Byron Boyson, who is a hydroponics farmer in Kraaifontein. Welcome, Byron Boyson.
Can you give him a round of applause? Woo. Yes.
I feel like he's going to dance.
Is he going to dance? Is he going to... Get on the chair.
Winnie, hier sit jy eens beter in die camera. Okay. Sal jy 'n foto vat met die saam?
Okay, let's settle. Has everyone sent in their forms? Perfect. So for this segment, we're chatting to an actual farmer. Did you think that he was a farmer when you saw him the first time? No? He's not wearing any shorts, is he? Does he have a hat on? No, he does not. He does his legs? Oh, okay, no. Yeah, okay. So Byron Boyson owns Boyson's Tunnel Farming, and you are based in Kraaifontein. Byron, maybe just to introduce yourself a bit, tell us about what you do as a farmer. What does the day-to-day of your job entail? Basically, just a bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. Thank you to all the youth being here today. I'm glad to see this future agriculturalist. And thank you for Food from Mzansi for this opportunity to, to talk and actually share my passion for agriculture. My name is Byron Boyson. I'm the managing director of Boyson's Tunnel Farming. I'm also the farmer there. I don't necessarily dance a lot on the farm, but we farm with tomatoes, which we cultivate hydroponically. Hydroponics meaning a very different type of technology where we don't necessarily plant in soil, but I can obviously talk to you much more about that. But my passion for agriculture started 6 years ago when I was still classified. I'm actually still classified as a youth because I'm not 35 yet. Being as a youth in agriculture, 6 years ago I started. I had a plan on paper. I came from university. I studied sports science, did a postgrad diploma in ethics. Totally different degrees than what is applied to in agriculture. But I made it work because of my pure grit in terms of I wanted to be part of the economy, add to it in a different way, work with people, and actually play a pivotal role in terms of what people need daily, and which is food.
Wait, hold up, Byron. So you went from sport to agriculture. How did you mix that up somehow? Do you guys believe him? No? Yes? How did you make that switch, and how were you attracted to this industry?
I think sometimes when I get this question, I think when I played rugby, then maybe I fell too much onto the grass because... But when I look at myself now, that my passion sport always is pivotal, like I said, with people, the involvement with the fact that you are actually literally involved in lifting livelihoods and also creating opportunities for yourself, because we also want to add value to the community we're in, but we also need to know that when we are involved with agriculture, that can also add value to your own livelihoods. For me, being the first generation farmer, commercial, going towards a commercial farmer, is also a very strengthening idea towards my family, which means that the next generation can also continue with the same idea and also build on it. So heritage is also a big part of it, and I think that's something that we should also start building at, even if you build with the most minute idea which starts on a paper.
Now, you mentioned hydroponics, and when I heard this word for the first time, I was like, what does this even mean? What is hydroponics, and why not choose conventional farming methods?
Thank you, Duncan, for that question. And I think hydroponics is a very interesting thing because it's not necessarily just one specific method of farming, but the main thing that you should remember is that you don't necessarily use soil. That means you have the opportunity to farm anywhere as long as you have water, and your water quality is very, very important. So commercial farming, on the bigger conventional farming, we always think we need a big piece of land, a big farm, hectares and hectares, and that is something that sometimes limits your thinking of becoming a farmer. The fact that you can be a subsistence farmer, or the fact that you can be, have a garden, sell it, sell the goods, and then actually become an entrepreneur with food, also gives you access to that sort of thing. So it's not necessarily one thing. Hydroponics gives you the opportunity to do farming on a small piece of land. You can cultivate tomatoes, asparagus, leaves, leafy greens, spinach, beetroot, whatever you would like, as long as your system adapts to it, and then you can cultivate and produce food.
It sounds very complicated to me, but if you can maybe put it in simpler terms, in terms of what you would need to do to start up. Can I do it in my backyard? Is it something that simple, or do you need to study to be able to farm in the hydroponics?
To answer that in a different way, I just want to say I YouTubed a lot. I started out, I read a few articles, and I started out because I had a passion, simple idea of what it needs to have a healthy plant. If you know that it needs sun, it needs soil or medium or to grow in, then you can just make sure that it needs its fertilizer or nutrients to survive. If you have that concept, then you can be able to understand what hydroponics means. If that is your interest and you would like to learn about it more, then you can just venture into the intellectual grounds of Google and just go and see what's going on there.
And Byron, you mentioned earlier that you were first generation farmer. So that means that your father wasn't a farmer, so you're basically starting this with no background and experience through research and YouTube. You basically started from scratch.
I do believe so, but my interest doesn't mean that my father wasn't necessarily the traditional farmer. For me also, my parents or my grandparents was also involved in agriculture because there was chickens and there was eende and there was things walking around that one moment you don't see the chickens and the other moment you see the chickens coming all the way around a few months later with all the little chicklings. So in that sense, they understood the value chain, but never necessarily had the opportunity to become the farmer as we know it today. But now today, with all that exposure, I can now basically venture into actually engaging with agriculture in the professional terms that we know today.
And most people think that farming is dirty work. You have to have muddy boots. You have to, be in the sun all day. Is that what it's like?
No, not at all. But I must be clear to you that I did change my genes before I came here. So that was one thing that I definitely did. But it is something that you can think of. You can be a scientist. You can literally be in a lab if that is your interest and do it from there. Technology these days, as you can see, we are talking live to people. It is not here. And you can literally farm the same way because there's technology available to give you access to your the information that you need to cultivate a plant or even in livestock. You don't necessarily have to be there. You can farm internationally if you really needed to.
We mentioned now that farming can be sweaty and hard work and long hours, but I'm sure there's been highlights in your agricultural career, and a lot of people also think that that's actually one of the reasons why a lot of young people don't want to pursue agriculture because it's sweaty and it's long hours. What has been some of your highlights in your agri journey?
We have been noted as being one of the new upcoming youth farmers, which I necessarily like about that is the fact that I still can live my passion out to inspire other youth, to inspire other people to be part of agriculture. So for me, that was always pivotal. So I will always keep that as something very important to myself. Highlighting is also just being fact that we actually do produce food and it actually going to the market. So for me, that is already a win, the fact that you're contributing member.
Byron, your story is absolutely amazing. So I just want to say one thing. Can we give Byron a round of applause?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the crowd? Anyone would like to ask something? No questions? There we go. There's one question. Please just introduce yourself and then go with your question.
Hello, Byron. I'm Monica. I'm asking it as if I am 18 years old right now and not the 50 that I am. Is there money in agriculture?
Thank you, Monica, for your question. There's definitely money in agriculture. I think you obviously need to do the whole check. As an entrepreneur, you need to see if there's a need for your product. If there's a need for your product, people are going to buy it. It's simple demand and what's it? Vraag en aanbod, supply and demand. So when you are able to identify the need, then there is definitely money in it. Tomatoes, for example, now, our world situation now as it is now, COVID-19, people have high demand for fresh goods. So fresh goods prices are extremely high now. So that interest is very important to look at. So there are many varieties of it, but money in it definitely. Professionally, to be part of agriculture, not necessarily just being a farmer. There's a lot of money in it as being a scientist, as agri-economist, any of those degrees that you can have through agriculture means.
Any other questions? We have one question here in the front.
Hi all, my name is Alistair Matthijs. I would just like to know what motivated you to keep going through the tough times?
Yes, well done. Wellington, represent.
Thank you for that question. For me, the resilience that agriculture requires definitely tests you as an individual. I think what keeps me going is definitely my belief system. I do believe that having the love from your parents, from your family, in that sense, is important to me. The fact that you have a passion towards contributing to people is a passion to me. The fact that you do not want to fail yourself. So self-belief and also having a clear root in your religion, making sure that you have your root system really literally rooted deeply into the soil.
Any other questions? There's one there in the back. Please just introduce yourself and then go with your question.
Hi, I'm Noku Bonga. You can call me Noku. Just two questions. Firstly, what has been your challenges in having to start up your own operation? And secondly, what advice can you give young people who want to start their own operation? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I think for me, the first startup was capital. I had an idea, it's on paper, where do I go to? At university, I had the opportunity to present a lot of presentations. You had access to how to make business plans, etc. You had access to knowledge. So to be able to know what you want, what product you have an idea of, to also selectively share your ideas with people. It doesn't mean that you do not engage with people openly about where you want to end up. But in terms of having a new Facebook idea, for example, you can't necessarily talk to just anyone. So you need to be strategic. So you have to create, your goal needs to be clear. You need to know how to get there in terms of what knowledge you need to be an expert in that. At least not necessarily a doctor or professor expert, but you need to know what is the tomatoes nutrients, what do you need to cultivate it. And then from that point, design a plan and approach and see, make a list. Go make a little list on a paper. What funding is available? Who do I talk to? Who is in charge of that funding? So that you actually make sure that you talk to those people directly and to guide you into the right dimension, if funding would be an issue. A lot of times we say we need all this funding to start your idea, but if you want to be an egg farmer, buy your two chickens, Start going. Get your eggs going, start to see what's the value chain, start to create that little idea, and your community will start to buy your organic free-range eggs because you are busy with something, because your community will come together. And that's the sort of idea we should get going with all from now, this point, what should happen? If people should start support each other with all these little things.
And then Byron, as we wrap up this session, was it worth it? Looking back now, the journey that you've been on, has it been worth it? And what are your plans for the future?
It's definitely been worth it, the point I'm at now. I think going through that hard times, that was also identified, in the whole process. And even continuously now that we are being threatened by land invasion, for example, that it brings an interesting social questions to the fact. But for me, I don't see myself plucking myself out of that environment. I see myself sticking around. Because once you take the positive element, I sort of look at myself now as a positive element, because your thinking is create jobs, create opportunities, cultivate food. So I figure that as being a positive influence in the community. So once you take a positive influence, sometimes when it's hard around you, then it has an effect on the impact. So stay there, stay strong. So my dream is further in the next 5 to 10 years is to purchase my own farm and then to cultivate it further and create opportunities for youth to come and do mentoring and to partner with organizations that can actually help grow that sort of idea.
There's an invite for all of you sitting here and everyone listening online. Byron is offering mentorship and also just by shaping young minds, future farmers in South Africa. Thank you so much, Byron, for joining us.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for
A round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, as part of the engagement, we're also going to have lots of fun activities. You started off with your first quiz, and now we're going to have the VKB dance-off. Okay. So we started our stuff earlier. Farmer Byron Boyson showed his
He's definitely
moves.
got moves.
So for this session, we want to get at least a representative from each school to come up and win 250 Rand in cash if you can show us that you can dance.
Hands up,
we
hands
will
up.
give you
Here she comes.
250 Rand.
Who's coming?
Today.
Who's coming?
Okay, it's going. Thank you. Well done. Can we give him a round of applause? Yes. Come up. Welcome to come up.
Is there another one?
We need one more person.
One more.
250 Rand. Just one more person. Any grabbers?
Who's coming?
We just need one more person. Okay, I think we're gonna go with it. Okay, he's coming, he's joining. Okay, so we're just gonna do, this is the proceedings. We're gonna do, each of them will have a chance to dance and then the crowd will say who's the winner, okay? So DJ, can we get that jams? Who's eerste?
Okay, I'll do it. I'll show you guys.
Hey!
Next one. Next one.
Come on. AJ. Go.
say, give them a round of applause, everyone. No, stay here, stay here, stay here. Stay here. Woo.
That was fun. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much to our participants. Jy het lekker gedans. He's tired. He says he's tired.
So let's start with this one. Who do you think should win? Okay. Our other participant? I'm not sure, Dawn.
Okay, one more time.
This one? I think there's a clear winner. Our lady over here. Woo! Thank you so much, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love the energy. I'm loving the energy. Just going to take a quick kiki and then we're going to continue with the program. Thank you so much. Remember, there's lots of activities happening today. You can all stand a chance to win. We still have another quiz lined up. But next, we have our first chat of the day. We met the farmer. Now we're going to meet some other experts within the agricultural industry, people that are vital and play a very important role in shaping the industry.
Yes, and definitely we're trying to find out what is the value of an agricultural qualification. And joining us today for this panel discussion is Monica Basson.
Please give a round of applause, Monica Basson.
And she's an undergraduate recruitment and marketing at Stellenbosch University.
Thank you so much for joining us, Monica.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Peter de Villiers. She's the course delivery manager and course consultant at Agri Colleges International. Welcome. Give him a round of applause. Yes.
Also joining them is Jannie Strydom. He is the CEO of Agri Western Cape. Give him a round of applause. And last but not least, Farmer Brayton Mulford, who is also the operations manager at Agri Expo.
We also have on this panel, Duncan, we have Tanya Okam. She's the communications manager at Cotton SA. Welcome, Tanya. So thank you so much to our panelists for joining us today. To start off the session, maybe I'll ask everyone to introduce themselves, tell us a bit about what they do and where they're from. Monica?
Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. I'm Monica Basson. I'm from Stellenbosch University, and I work within the Faculty of Agri-Sciences. And I know many of you here might not be thinking of agriculture, but it's an extremely exciting world with amazing opportunities for young people within our South African context. So whatever your perceptions are that you came in here today, we hope that we're going to change that, or at least that you're going to think differently about it and realize the opportunities within it. We need you. There's opportunities for all.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Peter de Villiers. I'm from Agri Colleges. Agri Colleges is an online agricultural college which sort of flies in the face of what Byron and Monica has actually said, because we do everything online and not physically at a bricks and mortar institution as does Stellenbosch do. But we just saw an opportunity to bring agriculture to your rural areas and to people who can't. There's limited opportunities in bricks and mortar institutions, so we bring it to the people in rural areas and wherever you are. And also, once you've started working in the sector, if you join Byron's farm in the future, and you actually want to do a course while you study, you can do it online with us while you are still earning money and being employed. So that is what we do, and we can talk more about that later. Thanks.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and yeah, I'm Jannie Strydom, the CEO of Agri Western Cape. We're an organization called Organized Agriculture. I don't know whether you know about that, but I'm sure we're going to chat later about that as well. And just, thank you very much, Food for Mzansi, for this great opportunity and to have this audience here this morning. Unfortunately, we didn't get the opportunity also to jive in here, Brighton, but probably later. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's really a privilege and an honor for me to be here. I'm the operations manager at Agri Expo, and we specialize in events in agriculture. That's mainly what we do. We do a lot of other things as well, but we do events. And just out of interest sake, I attended a conference a few years ago, and we had a survey, and the Australian population attends the agricultural shows. Around about 50% of the Australian population attend agricultural shows. And that's what we are trying to achieve, because in South Africa, we're less than 5% people that attend agricultural shows. How many of you have been at an agricultural show? You see? And that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to get the word out there of agriculture, the fun elements of agriculture, but also the important needs of agriculture. And that's what we as Agri Expo try to do.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tanya Oukamp. I represent Cotton South Africa, and it's a great honor to be here. We all look at agriculture and you think about the food you eat, but agriculture is much more than that. For cotton, it's also the only crop that's both a food and a fiber. And looking around you, 60% of everything around you contains cotton, but I'm going to share a bit more about that with you a bit later. And I'm going to be the one challenging Yanni for that dance. Or
You heard it, Yanni.
So for this session, we're basically going to just understand a little bit about what you can do. So please prepare some questions already, make some notes. If you have any, we will have a question and answer session after our engagement with this panel. Maybe we can start with you, Monica. Monica, young people think agri not cool. But there are many, many diverse opportunities within the agricultural sector, and it's not just limited to a farm. Maybe you can tell us a bit about the Agri-Sciences Department. What are some of the courses? What you would need to apply, and just a bit of information about that.
Can I use yours? Wait, I say. Okay, now I have to be careful not to take over the whole slot and talk for 20 minutes, because I would love to do that. You can do the dancing, I'll do the talking. I think what is important, first of all, is knowing that agriculture is science in practice. Basically, what we do is, if you study agriculture, is you find solutions for real-time problems. You are not helping the one person that is sick when you become the medical doctor to solve his flu problem or the COVID problem. COVID is slightly bigger than just one getting flu, but you find solutions that is going to impact all of our lives. We talk about food security, we talk about climate change, we talk about preserving soil, using our water resources wisely, and those are all problems that we have. We need scientists to solve those problems. So don't think in terms of becoming a farmer or a farm worker. We don't train that at Stellenbosch University. We train scientists to work alongside farmers to find problems for real big problems that's going to impact all of us. To study at the university, and perhaps I can just say that Stellenbosch University is the top university for agricultural studies within the African continent. We are rated in the top 50 internationally, so it is a very good place to go and study. You need to have, because it's a science degree that you're going to do, you need to have maths and physical sciences at school level. You need to get good grades to get into those programs. And we've got 11 departments, so it can range from forestry and wood sciences that we don't know much about here in the Western Cape because we don't really have forests. It includes genetics, it includes food sciences, it includes your plant and soil sciences. So there's 11 departments, there's many programs that you can go into. into. We've added a brochure on your chairs about the programs that we're going to do. And I think what is also important to know is that it's within the scarce skills field, you know. If you think of how many students go and study, every university within South Africa has got a department or a faculty of economic and management sciences, and you can go and study marketing at the University of Technology, and you can go and study it at a college. You can imagine how many students exit tertiary education with that kind of degree. Within agriculture, because it's a scarce skills, there's very few students that actually exit with a degree within those fields. And if you are part of a scarce skill, that means that you've got an opportunity that nobody else is going to have, because you sit with expertise, you sit with knowledge, you sit with an advantage point that is very difficult to match. So if you are interested in the biological sciences, if you want to help people, if science is your course, then at least consider it and look at those problems. Programs. There's really amazing opportunities within that field.
Thank you so much, Monica.
I love what I do.
Is my mic on? Okay. I want to chat to you, Peter de Villiers from Agri Colleges International.
Feel free.
I mean, a year ago, we didn't think that studying agriculture would be possible virtually. Now we can study it online. How does that work? How am I able to study
Well, to be quite honest, 2 years ago, we didn't think so either. But no, we realized and we recognize that sort of university education and tertiary education isn't accessible for everybody. I mean, there are plenty of people who just simply, let's call it spade a spade, can't afford it, or geographically is too far away, and can't, or have to support a family or a community and can't get away and actually go and attend a bricks and mortar institute like Stellenbosch. So our founder, Howard Blight, saw an opportunity and said, let's take education to the people and do it online. So we do a blended learning scenario whereby you do the academic part, the content, but you also have sort of practical interventions with practical tasks and assignments that you have to do. So we keep the hands-on approach. But it's working on we've got 3 tiers of courses. We've got our introduction courses, then the fundamental courses, and then our flagship National Certificate 1-year course. Now, as part of your National Certificate course, you have a 1-week practical block that you attend either in Tsanin, or we are at the moment trying to look at various other venues to bring it closer to the people, where we do like good agricultural practices, we do crop production, we do animal production, all with the students practically. So that's the only students that actually have to leave and to come to us. The rest of the courses are all done online, and it's written by subject matter experts in an association with, I think, Stellenbosch University also played a role in the development of the courses. So yes, we're finding, and much as COVID played a role in anybody's bottom line, I think post-COVID has been kind to us in as much as people now realize that online and distance is the way to go. So it's becoming more and more, and we can actually see it from the first intakes post-COVID, or post-hard lockdown if you want to. We could see our numbers picking up drastically. So we're excited about the future. So yeah, it's working for us at the moment.
I think what the year has showed us is definitely that studying online or doing things online is definitely possible. With that said, what are the options in terms of as a student completing my course at Agri Colleges International? What options do I have, in terms of career opportunities? Where can I venture into?
Well, let's say it's less scientific than at Stellenbosch, but I mean, we teach sort of for emerging farmers, for existing farmers, and a lot of your bigger corporations. I mean, we cater for the likes of ZZ2 and the bigger corporations, and their sort of staff development and upskilling of their staff already busy working for them. But I mean, for our intro level is anything from somebody starting a small garden in your background up to sort of having a hectare of land or whatever and farming and joining a farm. But it's very basic. But once you start going into the fundamentals, which is more in-depth, and then your national certificate, I mean, the sky is the limit. All aspects of farming are actually covered. So you can either become a farmer self or join one of the ancillary industries around farming. So nothing is stopping you. I know there will be some corporations that actually say we insist on people having a degree, but there are as many farmers who actually need somebody with a hands-on education that has a qualification, not so much the scientific, you have to have biology and science and maths, whatever. It's not part of our criteria. I mean, for us, to enter at agricologist, anybody with grade 10 can do our national certificate, which is on NQF 4, grade 12 level. And there's no subject requirements in specifics. Before you do the year course, you do like a little assessment course online, which is numeracy, literacy, computer literacy, just to see, will you be able to? But that's the only requirement there is. So you're not, I, for one, and admitting it, yeah, probably not the right platform, but I mean, made the wrong career choices in grade, what was it, standard 8, at school already. I mean, but you never had a chance to rectify that, because your subjects were just not. And in grade 12, our headmaster said to me, you will no longer have science. So I thought, okay, thanks for that. But I mean, now that if we don't have subjects that you need to have, you can still do our course. And in future, we will also be doing NQF 5, and then as the demand grows, we will continue upwards.
My next question is to Yanni. Yanni, maybe you can tell us about some of the new technologies in agriculture. The world is changing so fast. You know, we're living in the Zoom era. What would you say some of the new technologies and maybe and some of the new opportunities within the sector, specifically for the young people that's listening and for the young people that's here today?
Yeah, thanks, Dawn. That's quite a difficult question. But I think if you think this morning that there's no technology in agriculture, you're making a huge mistake. You all heard about the 4th Industrial Revolution, and there's great prospects in terms of for the agriculture sector there as well. Like you rightly said, in the lockdown, we had to have meetings virtually. That's just part of it. We had 3 weeks ago our first annual Congress virtually in the history of our organization. So quite challenging, but a great experience. So with regards to technology, we see drones being used very comprehensively these days in farming. And we're talking about precise farming, precise agriculture farming with GPS systems, where your implements are being preset with GPS coordinates, and they're working the land. So there's major opportunities in terms of technology within the agriculture sector. Some of the technology we don't welcome at this stage, I must say. I've heard the other day about the blood cell that was used in a laboratory to create a hamburger patty. But in monetary terms, I think it cost like 3 million rand or $3 million. So luckily, it's still very expensive. So we need to have cattle on the farm. We need to have sheep. We need to have pork. All of those animals. So, but yeah, that's the future, and that's a new technology in the near future for us then. But agriculture is certainly embracing it and making use of it to the best or to be more cost effective as well. That's also a great challenge. We've heard about what Byron said this morning, and we need to be financially viable, and that's just part of what you as a farmer need to take note of. If you can reduce your cost by using technology, that's the way to go.
Thank you so much, Yanni. Brayton, my question would be to you. You mentioned earlier about how people engage with the sector. How do we start changing the perspective of how people see agriculture and making it more sexy, you know? Making it more attractive for young people to see it as an option and for them to step into. So I think agriculture is sexy. Do you think agriculture is sexy? No. So Brayton, convince them that agriculture is sexy, because you're a farmer, but you're also the managing director of, you're managing operations manager at Agri Expo, and part of your job is to make agriculture attractive and to showcase it.
Yeah, Dawn, thank you. I just want to say, if you, I earlier spoke about agricultural shows, and what we did from Agri Expo side is we said we're not going to do shows, or we still do shows, but what we started doing is festivals. And isn't a nice beer festival, I'm not speaking to you guys, I'm speaking to the online viewers, but festivals is cool. It's cool to have a cheese festival. It's cool to have a bread and beer festival. It's cool to have an olive festival. That's what people like. And that's the one thing that we are trying to do at Agri Expo, is to make agriculture cool and sexy, and taking it to the consumer. But I also think there's a need that everyone in the industry needs to make agriculture cool and sexy. Just look at this, what we are doing here today. This is sexy. This is making agriculture sexy, and that's what more people need to do. I mean, we can dance in agriculture. We can jive in agriculture. We can do a lot of things in agriculture. With us, we've got IT people that's in agriculture. We've got marketing people that's in agriculture. We've got events managers that's in agriculture. So I think agriculture is already sexy. We just need to get the word out there.
Tanya, you spoke about how diverse and dynamic your industry is specifically. Maybe just some of the opportunities that young people can tap into, and also just how interested it is in terms of making it more accessible to young people to step into at the moment.
So when people hear cotton, they think about denims and t-shirts, but it starts at the farm. So the industry is from farm to fashion. And as Monica said, it's about science and technology. And technology is not only IT technology. Technology is also developing the right seed and the right cultivar to create the right fiber. And with that, there's a lot of science going in. If you look at the whole value chain, starting at the farm where you physically plant it, you've got the farming opportunities. And from Cotton SA side, they also do a lot of mentorship and development for emerging farmers. We've, ironically, the bigger part of our farming community are actually women. So earlier I heard the farmer is the Kortbroek and Valley's male type. For us, it's not necessarily that. And then if you work further up in the value chain, going to ginning, and then ginning also, it's not the thing you do with tonic. It's where they separate the fiber and the seed from each other. Extremely, extremely scarce skill. A lot of science with that. From the ginner process, it goes to a spinning. I was mind blown the first time I visited a spinning mill and looked at that's science next level. You will have new respect for a thread of cotton yarn if you see how much goes into planning that before you at the end of the day get fabric. Weaving, knitting to produce that fabric, dyeing, design work, making the clothes, fashion designing, then ending up in the retail sector. So it's so much more than the soil. But without the soil and the love of the land, we're not going to reach to the end of the garment. When I was still very young, someone said this, and that's a message I want to leave with all of you. The only place where you find success before work is in the dictionary. So whatever you choose and whatever career path you choose, it's about commitment, dedication, and hard work. And I know this is the launch of this event today, and as Monica, I can keep on talking. I actually get paid to talk. So I know very little about farming, but I know a lot about talking. There are going to be virtual expo rooms. So please, there's Cotton SA has got a specific cotton room where there'll be more information and further opportunities. There's going to be a lot of interviews with our stakeholders through the value chain. Make sure you visit those on the Food for Mzansi page and the Agri Careers page. You can also follow us on Cotton SA. because you are the little seeds that we have to grow to weave this whole country together and to make sure that we keep on supporting our local industry and growing it from you people sitting here in front of me today.
Round of applause for our panelists.
I'm actually quite interested to know, I'm sitting here, I'm one of the students sitting here, and I want to get into the cotton industry. Where do I start? What do I study? And also, what are the opportunities in that space of the industry for me?
So, yeah, as I said, it depends on which area in the industry you want to come into. If it's design work, there's some design studios. If it's farming work, there's the official farming study schools. If it's a mentorship program and a small farmer program, through Cotton SA, they do that development. But I don't think, if I have to speak about myself, I think I'm one of the very few privileged people that can say what I studied and what I do and what I love is exactly the same thing. My work is my passion, and that didn't start at school. Not one of the subjects I took at school contributed to who I am today, and I didn't have maths or science. When I was at school, those very fortunately weren't compulsory subjects. So sometimes, even if you're good in language, when I said earlier 60% of all textile and apparel products contain cotton, if you look at the oil in the fast food industry, that's cotton oil. I very recently learned something new. So even cotton has cellulose. Even condoms are made of cotton. Yeah, so it depends on where you want to come in, Duncan, what you should study.
Sounds like there's definitely opportunities in that space.
Thank you so much. We have one last comment from Monica, and then we'll wrap up this session.
Well, I'm definitely looking different at cotton now.
Definitely.
I wanted to add to Tanya, the magic about agriculture is that it doesn't set you up for one specific career. You know, if you're going to study accountancy, you're going to become an accountant. And the choice that you make is in what type of firm you're going to work. You know, are you going to work for Deloitte? Are you going to work for KPMG? Or are you going to work for a big farmer like ZT2, for instance, you know? But if you're going to study within agriculture, there is a world of opportunities. Just to use an example, because I saw it now on one of the posters, winemaking. Good wine is not being made in the cellar. Good wine is being made in the soil. So you need a soil scientist. You need somebody that knows how to protect the vines, how to lead it up to make sure that it's disease-free and that it is pest-free. Yes, somebody needs to prune it and somebody needs to harvest it in the end. And yes, it does go to a cellar to make good wine, and hopefully they don't mess that part up. But then somebody needs to put it in a bottle. Somebody needs to certify it. Somebody needs to put a label on it. Somebody needs to put a cork in it. Somebody needs to certify it. Somebody needs to export it. Somebody needs to sell it. Somebody needs to make a new product out of the waste products from the grapes, for instance, where the food scientist comes in. Agriculture is not setting you up for one specific career. Depending on your personality, you can choose within which field you want to go into within agriculture. And that is the excitement, because you're the generation that you get bored within 3 weeks, you know? So there's the possibilities for you if you go within the applied sciences.
Okay, one last comment and then we have to wrap up.
Guys, I just want to leave you with one thought that is nothing to do with agriculture, but education in general. There's a saying that goes, if you're not willing to upskill and to study and to work hard, nobody can help you. If you are willing to study and skill yourself, nobody can stop you. So keep that in mind on your careers ahead. Thank you.
So agriculture is sexy. Yes, agriculture is sexy. So thank you so much to all of our panelists. We'd like to give you a small gift for participating. Thank you so much.
Dance class.
Thank you so much. Bye, Duncan. Bye, Duncan. You want to take one picture? So this is exciting. Thank you so much. We're really enjoying it. We're going to be... you. Give them a round of applause. Winner? Okay, so we're going to announce the winner of the first quiz. Are you ready? Yes. Can I get some more energy? Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2. So this is our beautiful colleague Sinesi Potam. Can we give a round of applause to Sine?
Hi guys, how are you doing? You guys have been awfully quiet this morning, so I want to hear you guys scream. You guys didn't scream. Was that a scream? I don't think so. I want to hear you guys scream! Okay guys, hi, my name is Sinesi Potam. I'm a journalist from Food for Mzansi. If you don't know about it, get your facts straight. Anyway, we're announcing the winners today. But beforehand, I'll be reading the questions and the answers. Guys, when I read the questions, I was like, oh my God, what is this? But you guys did well, because I would have failed, most definitely. Anyway, so the first question was, I bet you can't guess how cashew nuts grow. So how do they grow? And the answer is upside down, on an edible tree, or growing tree. The second question was, how long does it take for a single pineapple to grow? And the answer is 2 to 3 years. And the third question was, which is the odd one out? Banana, watermelon, strawberry, and cucumber. And guys, I was shocked myself. The answer is strawberry. You know why? The strawberry is the odd one out because bananas, cucumbers, and watermelons are berries. Weird, right? I know. And then the fourth question is, which of these can't be included in a bag of mixed nuts? Between walnuts, almonds, cashews. No, you're wrong, sweetheart. The answer is, well, it's a trick question. None of them are nuts. So technically, none of them should be included in the bag. And then my fifth question is, when did humans start farming? Guys, some of you guys said when Adam and Eve was born. Like, the answer is 12,000 years ago. And the sixth question is, what is the oldest method of preserving foods? Come on, guys, this is a giveaway. Come on now. The answer is drying. Biltong. Come on. And then the seventh question was, from what plant did Andreas Sigismund Margraaf extract sugar in 1747, leading to the development of an industry? The answer is not sugarcane, not sugar beet, apples or oranges. It's actually, oh, no, it is sugar beet, my bad. And then number 8 is, which of these are sold to farmers to help control insects, pests, locusts, butterflies, chameleons, or ladybugs? The answer is a spaghetto. What is that, guys? Do you know what it is? A spaghetto. Is it some sort of spaghetti? I'm not sure. And then the last question is, South Africa has a market-oriented agricultural economy that is highly diverse and includes the production of all the major grains except one. What massive staple grain does South Africa have to import in large quantities? And that is rice. So now we have come to the time to announce our winners. Can I have a drum roll, please? And the winner is Jamie and Amron. They filled the same form. And then our second winner is...
Well done. Come on up, guys. Come fetch your prize. Yes. Whoop, whoop.
And our third winner is Reese Julies from Noorder Paarl High. Well done, guys.
Yes. Are they going to do a Mzansi jive?
Wait. Before we finish, so there was a viewer who was watching our show on Facebook, and she or he, I'm not sure, was really impressed with the two people who danced. So one won, and the other one didn't win. So that one is also winning money. So please leave your details. Where are you? So please leave your details, and then as soon as they send the money, we'll give it to you. Well done. You can also come stand up. Give us a young move there. Hi, boy! Hi! Are you not going to give us a dance move? Hi! Well done, guys.
We're just going to go take a quick picture. So now you're going to stand with your winners over there. Waza. Hey! You guys give a round of applause to the winners. And to Mzansi Agri. Yes. So this is the next part of today's proceedings. We're going to be doing our second quiz that will also give you a chance to win another 250 Rand cash prize. Are you guys ready? So you got a second quiz in your little books. Does everyone have their papers out?
Everyone's got a little piece of paper. I say. So, first question for another 250 Rand cash prize. Tell us, what is an agronomist? Any idea what an agronomist is?
And to people viewing at home or wherever you are, at the office, you're also welcome to participate. The second question is, which of these is not an agricultural career? A crop scout or a crop lookout? Which of these is not an agricultural career? A crop scout or a crop lookout?
I think what we've learned today is that there's a lot of opportunities in agriculture. So I think both of them might be an option.
Are there more trick questions, you think? More trick
I
questions?
think it's one of those trick questions. Right, so third question is, what does an entomologist do? I hope I said that name right. What does an entomologist do?
And the fourth question is, what is a ginnery? And no, you can't drink it.
Right. Fifth question. What does a quarantine inspector do in agriculture? And did we need them before COVID-19? What does a quarantine inspector do in agriculture? And did we need them before COVID-19?
And then the last question is, O is for enology. What does an enologist study?
Right, so write those answers down and you stand a chance to win a 250 Rand cash prize. I know I can do with a little bit of extra cash, so make sure you fill in those answers incorrectly. And also add your name to the top.
Once you've completed, just pass along your forms to the person at the end and we'll collect. Okay, so we're ready for the next part of our program. We're having our second chat. Yes, our second one. So this time we're going to be discovering the A to Z of careers in Agri. The A to Z of careers in Agri. And we'd like to welcome our guest up to the stage.
Joining us for this discussion is Dr. Salia. He is the founder and director of Farmlands Veterinary Practice in Durbanville.
Can you give him a round of applause? Next up, we have Nokubonga Ndima. She is the Western Cape branch manager for the Future Farmers Foundation. Noku, are you here? She's still filling out her form.
And then also joining us is Sine Smith, who is the admissions manager of Agri Colleges International. Welcome, Sine Smith. Right, also joining this panel discussion is Hybri Aris, and she is the program director at Case Development Project. Welcome, Hybri Aris.
Okay, is everyone settled? Did you fill in your forms? We're about to start the next session. So thank you so much to all of our panelists who joined us today. Same as our previous discussion, we'll just ask you just to introduce yourself, tell us a bit about what you do, and then we'll take it from there. We'll start with you, Sune.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Sune Smith. As you've seen, I'm the admissions manager at Agri Colleges International. Basically what I do, I deal with students or leads as we call them. From the inquiry, I take you through the whole application process, the whole approval process, the enrollment process to finally get you on the system to start learning. So that's my role. I'm there to see that you adhere to all the requirements that we have. I'm there to see that you pass your online admissions assessment, as Peter has mentioned previously. And then I also make sure that we have all your documents loaded up onto the system, and I make sure that you understand completely what the platform is, how it works, for you to be able to know everything before you actually start studying online. So that's my role at this stage at Agri Colleges.
Hi everyone, my name is Nokubonga Ndima and I come from Future Farmers Foundation. And basically what I do is represent future farmers in the Western Cape. And the whole vision on what we do is to produce top commercial farmers in South Africa, basically bridging the gap between those who are quite experienced, looking at a commercial farmer, a successful commercial farmer in South Africa. Currently, we're looking at the age of 58 to 63. So what we do is bridging the gap with young people, saying that, well, if you have a passion and you have a drive to be part of the agricultural industry, here we are.
Good morning. I'm Salia Low. I'm a local Bolander. I went to school here in Huguenot High School in Wellington, so I'm very local. I'm a veterinarian of trade. I finished in 2005 at Onderstepoort and been a vet since then. Went all around the world trying to learn how to do other aspects of veterinary science, not just the normal dogs and cats. And that's where I became more involved in the agricultural sector. I grew up on a pig and cattle farm just outside Paarl. So it's always been in my blood, in my DNA, to be part of the agricultural world. So I founded my practice, I started it in 2010, concentrating on farmers, commercial farmers, intensive farmers with pigs, cattle and sheep, and a bit of wildlife, because that also was quite a big thing a few years ago. And 3 years ago, I started doing contract work for SAPO. Now, SAPO is a South African pork producers organization, and a part of their job structure, or their structure they've got, is they have to give back to communities, they have to give back to small-scale farmers. And I got involved with it, and I became the liaison for the Western Cape in helping small farmers, upcoming farmers in the pig industry to basically provide more for their family and to become more successful. And at the end of the day, as the previous speakers also said, it is very important to work hard, and if you put your mind to it and do the basics right, start right, you will succeed. So yeah, hopefully we've got some questions about that and about the veterinary world and the agricultural world. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Angela Davis and I'm from Paarl. I studied viticulture and enology at Stellenbosch University, and I finished last year. So basically now I'm a facilitator at CASE, specializing in plant production. And so basically we're giving class to students that specialize in agriculture, and we're just expanding our knowledge to teach the students.
Good morning everybody, I'm Hybrid Aries. I am also the part of CASE. I'm a facilitator as well as I oversee the programs that we do within our non-profit organization. So basically what we do is we try and give skills, especially to the kids in the low-income communities, kids that didn't get into college or university but are still looking to acquire a different skill set. As well as I'm there to change the preconceived idea of what the youth think agriculture is. Because a lot of people just think it's farming, ek werk op die land. That is landbouw, where it's much bigger than that. So I'm there to change their mind and show them what agriculture is, the fact that it's basically everything. It's the wine that you make, it's the chop that you braai on a Saturday, it's the vegetables that you eat, it's the fruit that you eat, it is the clothes that you wear, it's the wool. So I basically just try and shape the youth's minds with regards to agriculture and all the opportunities that there are in the industry for them, as well as business and marketing.
Maybe we could start with future farmers. Noku, what are some of the requirements that you need to join your organization? And I know that there's also travel involved, so there's opportunities for people who are interested to also travel abroad. Maybe you can just give us an outline of how young people can get involved in your program.
Okay, with future farmers, the number one thing that we look for is passion. If you're not passionate in farming, you won't survive. And I believe that goes with any type of job that you go to. I think it's Tanya, she said that what she does, she enjoys, and it's just what she studied and what she's passionate about. So with farming, with future farmers, that's the number one thing that we look for. And then you have to be between the age of 18 to 26 for you to join future farmers. Reason being, as Dawn said, for us to be able to send you overseas, because if you have a qualification, an agricultural qualification, we place you locally with a farmer for 2 years, and then after that, if you do exceptionally well in that placement, then we're able to send you overseas. So the young people or the countries that we work for or we work with, it's the US and New Zealand, of which some people we do send them to Australia. So passion. Number one, passion, because if you're passionate about something, you do not mind if you go to a dairy farm and you have to work up early in the morning, like 3 a.m. in the morning, and be in the farm at 4. So you don't have to be pushed. You're self-motivated because, as I said, we are looking at producing top commercial farmers, not for anywhere in the world, but for South Africans. And we believe in young people. And I started also as a future farmer myself, and there's so many opportunities out there. It's to say say, here are young people that are passionate, that can do and are willing to go an extra mile to work and build their careers. And you can be a farmer, you can be a farm manager. Currently, we have had an opportunity to train some future farmers in drones, and that's the technology side in terms of spraying and producing more in a small spaces. I think it's Yanni who mentioned that the technology in agriculture is growing. So if you're more in tune into the technology side, you can do drones. And then, I mean, agriculture is evolving, and you look at the renewable energies. How do you spray in your farm? How to use solar panels in your farm and things like that. So it's very broad, and yeah, we're here for the young people.
Awesome. Hybrid, I want to chat to you quickly. You work at CASE, and I've heard a lot of great things about the work that you do. Tell us, how does the program work, and how do I benefit from it by joining you?
Okay, so we have a variety of different skills programs. The main one is agriculture, but we first focus on like the life skills, behavioral aspects, like changing your mindset with regards to a lot of things. And after that, then we equip you with a certain skill. The agriculture is accredited. It's an AgriSETA accredited course. And our partner with regards to that is the Overberg Training Development Initiative. And then when you guys are done studying, I always go like the extra mile to help you find something in that, if you want to go study further or if you want a job. So what I also encourage in the learners is starting your own business, because you don't just have to work with the raw materials. You could make charcuteries, you could create your own sauces. So basically just starting your own business after that. I mean, we try and help you get on your feet with the business planning, the registrations of your businesses or your co-ops at the end of the day. So yeah. We try and create young business owners in agriculture. Even though you start small, it could become so big. I mean, there's so many people who started off in their kitchen, and now they have like this big company. So at the end of the day, like she said, you have to work hard, you have to have a passion, because especially in agriculture, no one is there to look after your crops and your products and your things. It's all up to you at the end of the day. So if you want to become successful, it's up to you to do that.
Dr. Lau, maybe we can get some of your insight in terms of your practice and also the work that you're doing within the science field. Did you always know that you wanted to enter it? And it's quite dynamic. There's different aspects to it. Maybe you can just elaborate a bit about that, and also the avenues that these young people can go into. We'd also once again like to welcome all the viewers online as well. So there's people engaging on that platform as well.
Yes. As in the agricultural world of being diverse, the veterinary field is also very, very diverse. A lot of people look at a veterinarian and they just see that person sitting in a building waiting for dogs and cats to come in, or the exotic animals. We actually have a very big field of different things that you can do. You can go into wildlife, you can go into government work, state work, you can go into the agricultural farmer industry, you can go into the pharmaceutical industry across the world. I mean, you can go work pretty much anywhere you want to in the world, not just in South Africa. You can do only production animals, like intensive farming. So there's a wide variety of things that you can get involved with. You can get involved with charity organizations. You can get involved in the corporate aspect. But to go back to the basics, the first thing you need to do when you're a youngster is, when I was very young, I was fortunate to live on a farm. And my dad was a farmer, my brothers were much older than me, they became farmers, and everyone thought I'll just follow the lead and also become a farmer. But my dad saw something in me when I was very young, and I always loved the medical field. I always enjoyed it. I wasn't academically very strong. I loved sports too much to become academically strong. So I realized very, very early I have to have a balance. And that's probably one of the most important things to have as a child, is have a balance. You can't just be academic, you can't just be sport, you can't just do culture. You have to have a balance. And that counts a lot when you go for an interview or you go to apply for any type of college, university or entrepreneurship, entrepreneur type of work after school, is they look at your balance. So for the veterinary field, there is two types of fields. You've got the veterinarians, and something that a lot of people don't look at is veterinary nursing. It's the paraveterinary field, which is much more care, tender loving care. If you love animals, if you want to cuddle them, nurses do that every day. They need to be in the cages with the animals. They do a whole, the passion side, the compassionate side comes through in the nursing aspect. So that's one aspect, and then the second one is becoming a veterinarian. So your grade 11 marks is very important. Like any university you want to go to, you need to have good marks. Then you apply at Tikkies. Unfortunately, it's the only place you can study veterinary science at, and paraveterinary science is at Onderstepoort. So they will have a shortlist of over 400 students that they basically put on a shortlist after your grade 11 marks. And then at the end of matric, grade 12, they look at your marks again to see if you consistently did well. And then you get onto the list of 190 students per year that get selected. As I say, it's the only university in South Africa that you can go and study veterinary science at, and it's only 190 people that get selected. And because of that, the standards are incredibly high. It is the most difficult course to get into. I still can't believe I got into it because I'm not academic. But luckily, 20% of your interview, 20% of your things we look at is your balance, your sport, your culture, your leadership abilities. You as a person, who are you? People always look at your marks and say, oh, I got 7 out of 7, or in the primary schools and in high school you got 95 or 100%. It doesn't tell me anything about you as a person. So in the interview, they look at that. They do look at it. It's not just academic. But unfortunately, the bad thing is everyone who applies, there's over 1,000 students, scholars that apply per year to go to veterinary school, and only 190 get selected. So mathematics, science, all those type of subjects are very important, and the standards are very high. I can just say it, it's basically 90% plus, 95% plus averages that you need to get into veterinary school. So it makes it very difficult. A lot of South Africans do go overseas to go study there because there's lots more faculties, veterinary faculties over there. They go study there and they come back to South Africa. That does happen. There is talks for the past few years to open up another university of veterinary science right here in our backyard in Stellenbosch. But it is a very expensive faculty to build. You can just think, you study for 6 years. That's the other thing, I'm not sure if you'd all know. Once you apply and once you get selected, it is a 6-year course that you go and study. So it's quite a long course, very difficult to get through. And then after you finish 6 years, you do a community service year for extra year, where you go work at the state offices across the country, at abattoirs, at community centers, and you do a year of community service. And then after that, you're a full-blown veterinarian that can go into the private sector. And as I said, it's very diverse. So yeah, it is difficult to get into, but I can say out of personal experience for the past 15 years, it's been one hell of a ride for me. I've done everything so far that I can think of. I've been in the corporate, I've been in the small animal sector, I've been in England, Wales, Australia, America, working there, and it's been amazing. And my father basically told me to go out there and learn and see all the different possibilities. And because of all my possibilities I saw, all the basics that I saw in different practices, I realized that what I want to do is be part of the agricultural sector. So when I go to my farmers, small scale, medium scale, or large scale, or commercial or non-commercial, because I do all of them, I see myself as part of a business, not just as a vet on my high horse standing on the side. I'm part of a circle of trust. I sit around a table, I get a food specialist in who does the feed. I get an agricultural specialist in. I don't try to do everything for the farmer because that's impossible. So it's important to understand that there's a lot of people out there that can help and grow your business. And I'm just one part of it. And that's why I enjoy my job so much. One day I'm on a small scale farm doing 5 pigs, looking at them, talking to a farmer. Next day I'm on a farm that's got 30,000 pigs. But you have to shower in and do things like that. And then the third day I'm doing audits for Woolworths. So it's very diverse and it's very enjoyable.
I think Dr. Laurie deserves a round of applause. My next question would be to Sunay. Sunay, we heard earlier how diverse and dynamic Agri-Colleges International is. There are many opportunities for young people to go into. But admission is always something that we want to look at, we want to understand. What are some of the requirements that they have to keep in mind?
Okay, so as Peter has mentioned earlier as well, we don't require you to have any specific subjects. You need a grade 10 qualification because our course, specifically the National Certificate in General Agriculture, is an NQF4 course. So that means, I don't know if you're sure or know this, but your matric certificate, your National Senior Certificate is also on an NQF4. But now our qualification is a National Certificate in General Agriculture. So that means you're going to get a national certificate, but it's going to be focused on agriculture. And we've had students in the past that has gone from us, has gone to a university and they've applied to a university to go and study further for a degree, obviously in the agriculture field. So let's say you really want to do a degree or whatever the case might be in higher education. You can still apply for our national certificate and you'll be able to go and apply. Obviously, each university has their own admissions requirements, but then at least you do have that qualification behind your name and it's something that, that's extra. Like with a CV, anything you can put on your CV is going to help you in future. All right. So you need a grade 10 qualification. You also need to be able to write in English because our studies are online. Everything at this stage is in English. It's universal language. We are looking into translating in future, so that's in the pipeline as well, to Afrikaans, Spanish, etc., because we are international. So then we also, once you've applied, we just want you to do online admissions assessment. It's quick. It's like 30 multiple choice questions just to test your basic language, numeracy, and computer skills, just to see if you know how to click a mouse, what your web browser is, things like that. Because strangely enough, there are still people out there that do not know, that's not educated. So that's basically what we look at, what I look at. We don't really look at a specific age. Obviously, if you have a grade 10, you will be 16, 17 years old and older. We've had students that were in their 60s. So there isn't really an age limit at this stage. We've also have students now, I think now I've just enrolled our student from our 23rd country. So it's not just South African students that we have. We have students from all over the world that's doing our courses. And as I've mentioned the national certificate now, but we have short courses that's anything between 7 weeks to 12 weeks. We have introduction courses, introduction to plant production, animal production, agribusiness. You can go on to a fundamental course where you learn about avocado production, macadamia production. You can go further into agribusiness where you learn how to do a business plan, a marketing plan. And there's a lot more courses that's in development that's going to be released quite soon. So yes.
So there you heard it. There's definitely a lot of opportunities. Visit their social media pages, their websites, and find out more about the opportunities that lie within their respective career paths. I'd like to chat to the...
Duncan, we also have this career platform that we basically launching today, so you can also see them in the different rooms on the portal, agricareers.co.za.
I'd like to go over to the gentleman here on my left-hand side. So I understand you specialize in in viticulture. Yeah, tell us about that part of your career and why is it so exciting?
Okay, firstly, I've always had a passion for nature, and I always had a passion for science. So basically, winemaking combined my passion for the nature and also my knowledge about science. And like winemaking is a very fascinating career, especially if you're working in the wine industry. It's very physical. Sometimes in the morning you go into the vineyards at 5 in the morning. You have to harvest the grapes. So as she was saying, you have to have a passion for wine. And you also have to give your best, and you're also gonna meet new people in the industry, so you have to be competitive to those people. And for me, it's a very exciting career because you get the opportunity to go overseas and to compete with other winemakers. You can do international tastings at sommeliers, with sommeliers in restaurants. So for me, I choose winemaking because it's a very broad career. You can go into different fields. You can also be a viticulturist, where you can work in the vineyard, specialize in the vineyards, identifying plant diseases, how to establish a vineyard. So it's very fascinating for me to be a winemaker.
We just have one more comment from Noku, and then we'll start wrapping up. And then we'll get one more comment from Habri in terms of how you can also apply and be part of the program, and then we'll wrap up the session.
Okay, I just wanted to add this. With Future Farmers, I said we're looking at building or producing top commercial farmers for South Africa. So if you have a qualification in the sense of a diploma, it's 2 years locally. But then if you are just a matriculant, so it's 5 years placed locally. And the program is structured per individual. So we have people that are passionate, for example, in flowers. So you're gonna place you in the flower industry. We have people that are passionate about quality control, so we're going to place you in that. So the program, how it is, it's structured per individual. It's not a block of saying you only have to do horticulture for you to join the program. So what you're most passionate about, that's where we place you. And also we're talking about agriculture not being very sexy, but it quite is. And because it's so broad, as they're mentioning before, that it's so broad, you're not limited in terms of, no, I can only do IT. You can introduce IT into agriculture. You can be part of that sector. You're not limited in just, okay, no, I just have to go to the fields. I remember I actually studied in Costa Rica. So I remember when I was going to go overseas, 2009, my friends were like, you're going to miss the World Cup. But then the World Cup is only a month, and we're talking about a career here. So it's very important to know what you want. And I know that as young people, people say, but why agriculture? Why farming? You know, you can do office management, you can do PR. Just try, and you will see there's so many things that agriculture is evolving. That's another beauty with agriculture. It's evolving. What was done last year, there are new things happening this year, and there'll be new things happening next year. So it's a best place for young people because we get bored. That's the truth. So you can always be inventing things. And another thing, you need a doctor once in your life or certain days in your life. You need a teacher certain days in your life. You need, let's say what? You need a doctor, you need a teacher. You might need certain different departments in your life, but then you need a farmer every day, 3 times a day. When you're talking about meals, you need a farmer so that you have clothes on your back. You need a farmer so that you have roof over your heads. So that's how important farming is. And no farmer, no future, no food. So that's why agriculture is so important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noku. One more comment from Habri, and then we'll wrap up the session.
Okay. Yes, I agree with her because, like, yeah, farming, there will always be jobs in farming because we require it to survive in any country, not just South Africa. The world requires agriculture to survive. Anyway, regardless. So in order to get a hold of us, we do have a website page as well as a Facebook page called the Case Development Project. And we normally advertise when we have learnerships and skills programs, We advertise it on the Facebook page and the website, so you guys can apply on there. You can WhatsApp me as well. I'm available majority of the time. You'll be surprised. Sometimes I just want to like put my phone down, but yeah, it's the life we choose. So yes, what I do require, you also should have a grade 10 certificate, and I do require a motivational letter because there is a vast amount of applicants that do apply. I want to know why should I choose you over the next person. So, but those who do apply and don't get into a program, I do keep them on a database so that if there is another program, then I can contact you as well. So like I said, yes, you can visit our page at www.casedevelopment.org.za, and then the Facebook page is the Case Development Project.
And of course, you can go to agricareers.co.za where we will have all of this information in the virtual rooms that will be available to all of you for free. So next we just have Dr. Lowe wants one last comment and then we'll wrap up the session.
Yes, I think the biggest thing COVID-19 has taught us all, and it's a big word out there, is essential workers. And there's only one essential worker from the 26th of March when we went into lockdown, and those were farmers, the agricultural sector. It was essential, and it's still essential, and that's why we need to promote local business, local farmers, and local produce. Very important.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists. Can you give them a round of applause and we'll give them gifts. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm sure you guys need a bit of a body break. We'll be finishing the program very soon. But can you just step up quickly? One body break. Up, up, up. DJ, can we have a bit of a thing from Mzansi Jive just quickly while Lulu comes up to announce our next winner, Nolutando? Let's do the Mzansi Jive. Anything move in the spot? Hey, 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 hey. Move, 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 move. Come on. Just move it. Come on. Shake your bodies. No one's willing? No one's willing? Okay. Okay, you guys can sit back down. I know you're tired. Dumelang Mzansi. How are you guys doing today? Right, you guys sound tired, man. Is this money gonna excite you? Huh? Ne? Okay, let's announce our next winner. Oh, wait. Introductions. I'm Nolutando Ngakani. I am a journalist with Food from Mzansi. Leave a Lulu. Ne? If you have problems, you must contact me. Ne? Just go on the Food from Mzansi website and you search Leave a Lulu. You write to me. Ne? I got you. And stuff, yes. So on to our next winners. Where's the question? Don't put them up. So for quiz 2, first question was, what is an agronomist? How many of you think you got that right? Huh? No, quite a few of you actually did. So an agronomist studies the numerous ways plants can be cultivated, genetically altered, and utilized to our advantage. So actually, you guys were on the money. You guys called them crop doctors. And our second one was, which of these is not an agricultural media? A crop scout or crop lookout? It was a crop lookout. And then for the third one, we had, what does an entomologist do? Like, we got a lot of answers here. Some people said, like, they study babies and stuff, but no. We're dealing with agriculture here, not humans. Ne? So an entomologist studies insects.
And a ginnery for the fourth one. A lot of you people said they make gin. No. They are cotton gin. They make, okay, meaning a cotton engine. So it's a machine that quickly and easily separates cotton fibers from their seeds, enabling, ne? And then what does a quarantine inspector do was the fifth question. And do we need them did we need them before COVID-19? And the answer was yes, we needed them before COVID. This job has nothing to do with the pandemic. And the last one, O is for oenology. What does an oenologist study? They study wine and winemaking. A lot of you guys got that right because you're from Paarl.
Yes. Go Lulu! Can we give a round of applause to Lulu? So she's going to announce the winner. We're going to quickly ask you to come up and then we'll just take a quick picture. So Lulu, who do we have that won?
We have 3 winners again.
3 winners, wow.
And we have, for the first 2, we have Natalie Williams and Anushka Williams.
Natalie Williams, woo! Well done, ladies.
Our third winner is Odile Jafta.
Odile! Woohoo!
Ladies.
Well done, doing it for the ladies. Whoa.
I say congratulations to the winners over there for winning that 250 Rand cash prize. It's coming your way.
So this is our third and final chat for the day. Please remember that you will be getting a meal after this, so don't run away, stay around. And if you'd like to take a few pictures, the hashtag is #ThisIsAgri, okay? So use the hashtag #ThisIsAgri. Also, thank you to everyone viewing online. We appreciate you, we love you. Thank you for being part of this amazing day.
And
So-
make sure you tag us on social media as well.
Yes, definitely. So next up we have Dr. Sean Samuels. He's a senior researcher at the Agricultural Research Council. Welcome, Dr. Samuels. And then we also have Ricardo Silva. He's the concept editor and communication at Yay Baby Digital. Welcome, Ricardo. Whoop, whoop. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. So as we had before, we'll ask our guests to just introduce themselves a bit, tell us a bit about what they do, and then we'll start with Dr. Sean Samuels. Dr. Samuels?
Thank you. I'm from Cape Town, originally from Mitchells Plain, so I don't stay there anymore. So I'm a rangeland ecologist, what they call me. It's one of parts of agriculture. Agriculture is so diverse. I'm a rangeland ecologist and I work with the Agricultural Research Council. Basically, we're the research arm of Department of Agriculture in the country. We're a government organization. We're about 2,500 people scattered right around the country. So it's many opportunities in agriculture, and I'll talk later about what I do.
Hi all, I'm Ricardo. I'm the concept editor and communications at Yeah Baby. I'm from Strand, so like just around the corner. I'm going to talk more about what I do just now.
Dr. Sean, so you grew up in Mitchells Plain, but you somehow got into agriculture. That is so way off for me. How did the industry attract you? How did you get involved?
I think, Mitchells Plain is not the best part to develop a passion for agriculture. But agriculture is so diverse, so if I can just take a few seconds to explain how agriculture has evolved. So you have agriculture that was previously very extractive, meaning they just take from the land. On the one side you had conservation, we just want to protect the land. And both sides, conservation and agriculture, are moving towards each other, where you what they call sustainable use. You protect the environment while you still harvest resources from nature. So I'm in that middle, and my passion for the environment and for protecting nature sort of got me into that space. I'm a much more greater background in conservation and in agriculture. So I'm in that sphere of, or in that space of how you protect the environment while you're doing agriculture. And that's how I got into that. I think the love for nature was basically 50-50. You know, the soul 50-50, and that's how I developed the passion.
So, Ricardo, you specialize in content producing and marketing, especially in the agricultural space. How did you get into the sector, and how has it been like?
To be honest, I actually fell into it because, I mean, I studied language and culture at varsity. I was all about English and language and stuff. I never thought I'd do anything to do with agriculture. But, I mean, I moved to Paarl. You can't not be in agriculture in Paarl. Everything you do is going to be linked to agriculture in some way. So I started working at a marketing company. We promote, I mean, social media, the captions that you see on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, the pictures, photographs, interviews, all of that stuff. I started working at Yeah Baby. I started producing content for different wine farms, and then we started doing more agricultural things, like Food for Mzansi, for example. And yeah, the more you work in it, the more you want to work in it. Like, I can't imagine not working in agriculture now.
So wait up, Ricardo. You studied languages. You are not in the sun all day. You sit behind a computer and you work in agriculture.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, do I look like I've been in the sun in the past, like 6 months?
So your job is connected to agriculture, but you don't actually work on a farm. And how dynamic is it, especially in this day and age?
Oh, yeah, I don't work on a farm. I don't think I've been on a farm in like 6 months. I work behind a computer. I'm on the internet all the time. Like, I'm scrolling Facebook, I'm scrolling Instagram all day. So, I mean, it's not the worst job, basically. But I don't know, like, it's something crazy because you don't think you're going to get into it. But everything is linked to agriculture in some way. So promoting posts on social media, talking about some influencer who happened to go to a wine farm. I mean, that's linked to agriculture, something as simple as that. So, yeah.
Now, if people want to do what you do, what do they study? Where do they study?
Okay, so I studied language and culture, right? I didn't think I'd do anything to do with marketing. I didn't think I'd do anything to do with social media. I was going to, I don't know, like publish a book or something, right? Then I started working at Yeah Baby, content creation, copywriting, all of those captions that you see. And the more I worked in it, the more I learned. Like, most of my experience is literally experience. So study, like, if you like English or if you like Afrikaans, if you like language, go study at Stellenbosch or go study at whatever institution you want. Go do a language degree or go do a communications degree, because I think the UWs also does that. And then find a space, because everybody needs a copywriter, from an influencer to a big brand to an advertising or marketing company needs a writer. You start there, and as you go, you build.
Dr. Ikshan, I think sometimes people think that the food that we grow starts on a farm and leaves the farm and that's it. But there's so much more that goes into it, lots of research. And a lot of the work that you do at the Agricultural Research Council involves that. Maybe broadly talking about how that works and how young people can get involved and what they should be thinking about right now to be part of what you do.
I think from my aspect of agriculture is basically livestock farming. And livestock farming specifically how the livestock use the natural rangelands. How is it linked to biodiversity? Just to let you know, more biodiversity is on the farms than in conservation areas. So it's important to protect your farms. So what we do is because 69% of the country is not suitable to plant stuff. It's only for livestock. But you can use that plants to manufacture meat through livestock farming. And through that way, food is being produced. But then you have to be very careful not to overuse there's a lot of concern these days about overusing the resources. Degradation, overexploitation, and climate change is worsening everything. Just to let you know what I'm actually doing, I'm studying small mammals, I'm studying insects, I'm studying desertification, so it's much more to do with the environment than protecting the environment and protecting all the species than the production of food in that sense as well. So you can, through that way, get into agriculture. But I think I just want to share something with all of you, is that you don't have to do science to be in agriculture. You can do the language component, but you can also be a social scientist. Remember, one of the missions or the goals of agriculture in this country is food security, to provide food security for households. And you can't do that only through natural sciences. You have to look at aspects in terms of what makes a family food secure, the gender issues. You know, it might be the men that only in food secure, but the women get little. You have to look at that dynamics. You have to look at the aspects of farmer-employee relationship. You have to look at very socio-economic aspects as well. So you don't have to be a scientist to get into agriculture, and you don't have to be the smartest person. I think Dr. Lowe alluded to that, that it's hard work and it's a passion. And remember, the hard work is only until you get your degree, and while you get established yourself. After that, it becomes second nature. You don't even feel that you're working anymore. Like right now, I'm working, but I don't feel like I'm working anymore. So it's hard work at first, it's sacrifice, but then after that, it's fun. You enjoy your life, basically.
And Dr. Samuels, you also get to meet and engage with many farmers throughout the country. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to work for an organization where you're not limited to one space. I can virtually work anywhere around the world if I want to, still be employed by the Agricultural Research Council, because South Africa's got a lot of what they call bilateral agreement or multilateral agreements with countries. We say that we will help each other in terms of resource or research. So I've been to a couple of countries and learning from them as well, but also they would like to learn from us, particularly protecting the biodiversity. Remember, South Africa, I think, is the second or the third most biodiverse country in the entire world. In the entire world, we have the richest deserts in the entire world. So we can show the rest of the world how to protect our natural resources. So that is opportunity for exchange. So yeah, it's everywhere. I've been to a lot of livestock farming happens in all the provinces. This year we had a project where we've been to all the provinces, studied the best 100 livestock farmers in the country. What I love about my job is you see things that no other people see. The beauty of nature you see every time you go out into the field. I've got a lot of students. Students do most of the work and I just relax. So, yeah.
Ricardo, what makes you love the sector so much? What attracted you? And also, how do you see it as an option for young people to go into through what you do?
Well, like I said, I didn't choose agriculture. I fell into it, right? But if you're doing content creation, if you are writing for social media or for websites or for online, as you write, you need to learn about what you're writing about. So I started writing about a couple of wine farms. And the more I wrote about it, the more I learned about winemaking, learned about the whole process from growing the grape up until actually bottling and selling the wine. And then when we started with Food for Mzansi, explosion. There's really no limit. If you choose to do content creation, if you choose to write for social media, for any brand, for anything, you're going to learn more about what you're writing, because otherwise, how are you going to write about it? And if you work as a content creator anywhere in South Africa, you're going to do something to do with agriculture. You're going to learn about it. And I promise you, as somebody who has nothing to do with agriculture, who did not have any farmers, anything, you will fall in love with it. You really will. There's really nothing like it.
Okay, I think that wraps up. Dr. Shan, just one last encouraging word to motivate the learners. I think you've worked a lot with young people, and then we'll wrap up the session.
I think what I'm saying, if I can do it, I think certainly you can do it. It is just about putting your head down, as I mentioned, for a small sort of period of time in your life. I always say that whatever every year that you work hard in getting maybe your 4-year degree, you'll probably reap 10 years of benefit after that as well. Because what the reality is, if you have a degree, your income would be much better than if you don't have a degree, and you can do much more. I'm not saying you're going to be the richest person in the world, but you don't have to worry where your next plate of food would come from. So that is quite important, that you work hard and you set the foundation for the rest of your life. And that's very important. Once your foundation is set, it's a bit better.
Thank you so much. Can we give them a round of applause, Dr. Shan and Ricardo Silva?
Thanks for joining us. And let's quickly grab a picture.
Okay, thank you so much. Before we go, we're just going to welcome Food for Mzansi co-founders, Ivor Price and Kobus Lawrence. They're just going to tell you about our exciting new platform, and then we'll give you something to eat, and then we'll be off. Thank you so much. Ivor and Kobus, give them a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. A lot of people tuning in from all over the country. We'll be short and sweet. I know Kain se meneer is hastig. Ons is 3 minute. Dan gryp jy 'n McDonald's burger op die pad, net om vir julle dankie te sê, and then you're on your way. But I want all of you who have access to your phones to go on to agricareers.co.za. Gareth, I'm not sure if we can get it on the screen, probably not. agricareers.co.za.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So this is a living organism. It's a website launched today, and the beauty of it, it will live forever. It's about the A to Z of agricultural careers, and as you know now, I'm a journalist and a television presenter, but I work in agri. You can be an economist and work in agri. Whatever you do, it's in agriculture. So this will be updated regularly, and how it works, short and sweet. The first bunch of key exhibitors are up, but different universities will be also uploaded within the next couple of weeks. You'll see there are a couple of rooms. If you click on the first room, let's give them an example of room 1, just to say which career is right for me.
Yeah. So basically, we try to not only get people excited about agriculture and to consider different, opportunities and possibilities for their careers, but also to help you make the decisions that you have to make now, choosing subjects, making big decisions about how you put in your energy for the rest of your life. So there you can see how to apply for support from NSFAS, gap years, should I go to the choice between a university or a TVET college, how to choose subjects. There's a lot of general stuff that can help you specifically in that room.
Then the next room is the VKB room. It's room 2. VKB is an agricultural enterprise. They're one of the biggest, probably the biggest employer in the Free State. Now, what many people make the mistake, we all want to work in the cities, in Cape Town, in Joburg, in Durban, maybe in PE, with respect to all the people out there. But I'm here to tell you that there are amazing opportunities if you prepare to drive just a couple of kilometers out of the city that will probably pay you much more. Okay? So moenie bang wees vir die dorpe nie, there are great opportunities there. In the VKB room, you'll see some of the amazing people. Portia Lepesa, for example, is a talent manager at the VKB group. They employ 6,000 people in the Free State and Limpopo. Jan van der Walt works in procurement. Do you know what procurement is? You should be finding out. If I were you, if I had to choose, I'd probably go to procurement. Reino Steyn is on there. He does social media, for example. Yes, you can get paid, like Ricardo, to spend all your days on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the social networks that aren't even born yet. Room number 3 is the Food for Mzansi room.
Yeah. Food for Mzansi room, you can meet all our journalists there. All the you've seen most of them here today, and you can also learn what we are about. We are all about telling you stories about people you never even knew about. So go check it out and go meet our journalists.
And don't be scared of opportunities around you. That guy over there, Duncan Masiwa, is currently leading a project with Google. You know Google? All the way from Europe. Google's working with Food for Mzansi, and we're training 60 people. Some of them have standard 7, some of them have master's degrees, but we're training them as citizen journalists. So there you'll meet inspirational journalists like Duncan, Sinesipo, Nolutando, who will tell you how they're doing. We've got journalists on there who came from University of Wits. They now work for CNN. It's all possible. Also citizen journalists, and it doesn't matter what age you are. Lots of inspiration. Also, if you're into PR, Kobus.
Yeah, we've also got Tanya, who spoke to you earlier. She gives you a lot of information if you're considering entering the PR and the marketing side of things.
We're not going to highlight all the rooms, but I want us to go to the Standard Bank room. Standard Bank, unfortunately, can't be here today, but they're a big partner of Food for Mzansi. They're not allowed to go out in public yet because of COVID. But you know that there's a whole world out there working with agriculture in finance. From bank tellers to accountants to internal auditors to office managers. Banking is huge. It's also linked to agriculture. Meet some inspirational people in the Standard Bank room on agricareers.co.za.
There's a lot of stuff you'll find there. You'll see a lot of interviews with interesting people. So it's not about just hard information, although you do get that there as well. You can just sit and listen to an interview and get to know a person and find out what their jobs are really like.
The next two rooms belong to the University of Stellenbosch and then Agri Colleges International. Stellenbosch University really is a leading institution, and what I like about Stellenbosch University is the fact that they go to such trouble to make university accessible to all of us. Not only in the Western Cape, but also in the Eastern Cape. It's one of the few places where you can still study, for example, in Afrikaans, which is a major language in this province, want ons weer die navorsing wys, as 'n mens in jou tweede taal leer, doen jy nie so goed nie, né? So I'd really like to encourage you to check out the opportunities. I know of amazing people who barely passed matric, but they did a gap year, and now they've got PhDs before 30. Stellenbosch really takes people by the hand, and they've got a great agri-sciences department as well. Van 'n wynmaker tot 'n enologist wat julle vandag leer ken het, to science, whatever. Explore it, okay? It's all there, and you're also very privileged because Monica Basson is here. Dis die vrou wat vir jou gaan toelaat by die universiteit, die een wat met julle gepraat het. Sy is hier, as julle nie haastig is nie, praat met haar, vra al julle vrae, sy is hier. Next up, Agri Colleges.
Yeah, like you've heard earlier, distance learning has definitely become more of a thing, and Agri Colleges is right there at the forefront of doing distance learning for agricultural subjects in South Africa. So if you're looking for an opportunity that doesn't require you to leave your home and your family and spend a lot of money to go to a big institution, then check out Agri Colleges because there might be options for you there.
I'm also really a fan of the Agri Colleges because let's face it, not everybody can go to varsity, okay? And at the moment, government is giving away 896 farms, 896 plase, okay? Vir mense wat ewe skielik nog nooit toegang gehad het nie. And if you want to up your game and one day farm through government support and hopefully wean yourself of government support, this is a quick and great way to get qualifications behind your name. For those of you who do not want to go to university or can't go to university right now or a technical college or whatever. Great opportunities, different levels. It's all fully accredited and they're a big partner of this project. Next. Let's highlight the Cotton SA room. Let's go to SAPBA, the South African Plant Breeders Association. You've met Tanya, Cotton SA, this morning.
Yeah. The plant breeders, if you're scientifically interested, you're going to find a lot of interesting stuff on here. The plant breeders are all about creating the seeds that, they work with genetics and with toxicology and all these scientific things to make the best plants and the best seeds to make the most food for everybody. So if you're sciencey, interested in biology and that kind of thing, definitely go check out this room because I think there's a couple of careers on there that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, like plant breeders. I didn't even know there's a thing. South Africa desperately needs plant breeders. Wat doen 'n plant breeder? He breeds new types of fruits, vegetables for example, jy weet. Vrugte wat ons nou op die winkelrakke sien. Hulle het dit gekweek, new products. It's not just beyond oranges and potatoes and whatever. Bring your science to your game. Okay, let's see what room we're going to next. Wine tech is amazing. You met our Ansel Davis. Is an amazing winemaker. There's a big need for you in the wine industry. It's not just about wine, Kobus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lots of different enology, verticulture. It's all different. It's there. We'll be updated quite regularly.
One of my favorite rooms to definitely check out is the Agri-Sita room.
Yeah.
There you will find, I think, 42 short interviews with real people working in agri. Everything from a silo manager to a wine a wine cellar manager to all different kinds of sciences, scientists, auctioneers, anything you can think about. And it's a little short interview that you can listen to, and it tells you all about what that job is like and what you need to study for it. So if you're thinking agri is sounding interesting, but you're not sure where to go, listen to some of those because you're going to get some ideas.
And the beauty is we all want to become doctors and lawyers and teachers, but we're not thinking about the scarce careers that the country actually needs, that you can get 3 times more salary, okay? That room will tell you, it's based on research where government says these are the scarce and critical skills at the moment. We need people to study this. You'll probably be fast-tracked and earn lots of money if you go to that career. Let's go to the last. We've got Agri Western Cape there. We've got Agri Expo there. I just want to feature 2 more rooms. Let's start with the NAMC, and then we're going to Baby, National Agricultural Marketing Council.
Yeah, the National Agricultural Marketing Council, you're going to get a lot of interesting things there on economy. If people ask me what I would have done differently if I could study over again, I always say I wish I knew about economics when I was your age. I encourage you to check out the economics. Is a really interesting thing because it deals with it's a subject that touches on every aspect of everyday life. And the NAMC is a company that does a lot of research about South African agriculture, and they combine it into very interesting information, and they share it with the world. Yeah.
And then the last room we want to showcase you is the Baby digital room. I really want to encourage you to go into technologies, okay? By 2030, the government is depending on agriculture to create 1 million extra jobs. You'll be flying drones in agriculture. Already we're seeing in other countries where machines are farming, We don't know what the future holds, but you guys will experience new technologies that you don't even know of. Baby is an award-winning digital agency. If you want to work in social media, if you want to work in online marketing, digital media, this is the place to go. And I quite like those faces. See if you can spot them. They're all here today, most of them. See if you can recognize them. Don and Duncan, agricareers.co.za. It's low on data, so you can it op your cell phone account. It's not going to take all your data. It's highly accessible and cheap to access.
Thank you, Ivan Kobus. Give it a round of applause.
So you heard now, there are definitely a lot of opportunities in agriculture. You've got your career pedia. So make sure that you look at it, find out where you can study, visit our career portals, and let's get young people into the world of agriculture.
I just wanted to thank you guys for being awesome today. You were absolutely amazing. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Jive, all the panelists, all of our partners. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you and we love you. And this is agriculture and it's sexy. And go into it and enjoy it and make the most of it. Okay, so can I get a round of applause?
Hierdie week op Vir die Liefde van die Land.
Oh, it's difficult to be a farmer, but every time when he have challenges, I try by all means to support him.
What makes me successful is working together with the neighbors and you get support from your family.
Hierdie nuwe geslag boere kweek nie net om mense aan die lewe te hou nie. Hulle kweek ook 'n nuwe Suid-Afrika.
Vir die Liefde van die Land, elke donderdag om 6.
Which is a village outside of Polokwane, and I was raised by my grandmother. A lot of creatives I know come from rural areas. I always make sure that I mention where I'm from. Like it's quite an important thing for me, because for a kid who grew up the same way I grew up, I didn't have role models who came from where I was from at the time. But I think it's quite important to see someone in the creative space as a photographer saying I'm from this place, and you see them doing all this great stuff. For artists and for especially people in the creative spaces, I think it's quite important for us to always mention where we're from in order to inspire other kids who grew up the same way we grew up. I think with me continuing to shoot the spaces that I've been familiar with, especially shooting Kokasi in the township and shooting in town, it's taught me the importance of representation, especially as a black person. Because I feel like for a very long time, our stories were not heard strong enough, or they were not heard enough. There's something affirming about your story being told honestly. There's also something really affirming about seeing someone who looks like you on a different level that you didn't think that you can get to.
Food from Mzansi is different because we are. We're the first of its kind, and no one else does what we do. We speak to farmers and we talk to the broader South Africa.
What sets Food from Mzansi apart from other agriculture media, I think, is the fact that no story is too big or too small for Food from Mzansi.
In my work as a Food from Mzansi journalist, I think it's amazing that I get to make a little bit of an impact in the lives of our unsung hero, the farmer.
I never imagined that I would be working in agriculture, and I ended up in agriculture, and I'm loving it. The young people that I'm meeting that are successful, and they are literally taking up space, to me, it's empowering. And for a young man of my age, I never thought that I would pursue a career in agriculture working in media, and I love it.
And I think that is what makes Food from Mzansi so unique. The great diversity of stories that we offer, not just about commercial farmers or small-scale farmers, but about everybody.